You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the August 25th, 2022 meeting of the Michigan City Housing Authority Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is 3:01. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Flags right back. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Director Hutton, call the roll, please.
Roll call. Nathan Patrick.
Present.
Rodney McCormick.
Present.
Stacy Benning. Present. Talani Reyna. Present. Michael Vincent.
Present.
Kenneth Fly.
Present.
Virginia Keating. And that's it.
All right. What's next on the agenda? What's next on the agenda?
Approval of the minutes.
I move to accept the minutes as written.
Second.
Director Hutton on the roll.
Roll call. Nathan Patrick.
Aye.
Rodney McCormick.
Aye.
Stacy Benning. Aye. Talani Reyna. Michael Vincent.
Nay.
Kenneth Fly.
Yay.
Okay, 5-1.
What's next on the agenda?
Communication.
There's no communications. What's next on the agenda?
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, a point of order. If I can, under communication, I don't know what you're looking for exactly, but
Yeah,
I feel like this is a good time to address some emails
go
that
ahead.
were floating around the last couple of weeks.
One moment.
Sure.
I think that's best fit under commissioner comments.
It's going to take a lot longer than 3 minutes to address that.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna get my call in 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so communications from different department heads around the city, different things like that. So, yeah.
I'm gonna have to, point of order, and, I'm gonna move that we, put this on the agenda. We forgot to put on, our recommendation for our attorney, the hiring of our attorney. And
Right.
Mr. Vincent is our chair of that committee, and I think we need to allow him to speak, and then let's have a vote on the attorney. So if somebody will second that.
Or you want
So-
that under subcommittee?
Well, we can do that under subcommittee reports, his findings as the
We
chair,
only have a vote on here. I'm fine with it. Yeah.
which we're right into that already here under the reports. So what we can do is we can move up, we can move up our reports of our committees first under reports, and you can go.
Second.
Yep.
I'll move.
Second.
Director
Okay.
Hutton?
Nathan Patrick.
Aye.
Rodney McCormick.
Aye.
Stacy Benning. Aye. Talani Reyna. Michael Vincent.
Aye.
Kenneth Fly.
Yeah.
6-0.
Under, we'd like to address our recent closed bids for attorney for Michigan City Housing Authority. We sat down in subcommittee with the asset management procurement, and we tallied up 4 open bids. 2 of them, of the bids, we discredited due to not following instructions. So the 2 that we've scored was Tolbert and Tolbert and Harris Law Firm. And I have a printout and the score sheet with signatures that I'll submit after the report. But our findings are as follows. Under the factor of understanding of requirements, Tolbert and Harris both receiving 20 points. Familiarity with working with public housing authorities, Tolbert received 20 points. Harris 25. Demonstrated experience, Tolbert 20, Harris 20. Technical capabilities, Tolbert scored 20, Harris scored 20. Under the cost, Tolbert 15, Harris a 10. And under the Section 3 certification, Tolbert 10 and Harris with a 15. Tallying up the scores, Harris was a 110, Tolbert was a 105. It is the recommendation of the committee that we pursue contract with Harris Law Firm.
If I may, there was something that we added, if he will agree to some fees. That was, I don't know exactly what it was. I think
On
I'll turn to
the
you.
back of the sheet, under comments, what we'll ask is that Harris worked with us on some mileage. Since he's a local, he has local office. We don't feel mileage should come into play because he's less than a mile away from our home base, as well as some of the copying, printing fees that he's charging. We could certainly print or copy anything in-house that we would need, so we'd like to have clarification on that.
With that being said, I move to accept the recommendation from the chair and appoint Harris Law Firm as our attorney. Provide us legal service.
I second it.
Nathan Patrick,
Aye.
Rodney McCormick,
Aye.
Stacy Benning,
Aye.
Talani Raina, Michael Vincent,
Aye.
Kenneth Fly. 6-0.
Thank you.
All right, great. Okay. Director
I
Hutton?
have one question. Are we able to see the specifics of that proposal that was submitted?
We have the bids in office, so
Okay.
if you would like to stop in, I'm sure they'll be on file.
Everybody gets a packet, his packet. So he left one for all of us. So we just forgot it at the office today, so.
Did you have
Well,
one?
we have it today.
Yeah, if you want to review, we have all the package.
Yeah.
I just want to see everything that they submitted.
All right, perfect. Okay.
Oh, so the package that was left, we able to take with us? The extra-
No, you can't
Oh,
take.
oh, just review it.
All right. So next we have our finance report.
There's been no finance report at this time.
Okay. So next thing on the item.
Director's report. Okay, my report is what I've been doing. Me and Commissioner McCormick, we've met with the tree service people to get these trees out here serviced. We did a walkthrough and we did a second walkthrough with them recently. And so we are waiting on them to give us their new bids. I also looked into the internet, which was brought to you, Mr. Vincent, and I do have the information from Comcast. The plan they have for public housing residents is called Essential, but they have another plan called Affordable Connectivity Program. But the Essential program is given to all federal public housing, Medicaid, veterans, and anybody on the free reduced program, which is $9.95. The Affordable Connectivity Program is another program that they've offered that the Comcast would give $30 toward the bill. So if anyone's interested, we have the information and we can give it out to our residents to let them know how they can.
That's an offer to the residents, not through the board.
Right, to the residents, yes. Yes.
I thought I made it clear that this is something that we need to give those residents, period. That we provide that internet service for them. I thought we was all in agreement with that. And we just can't keep talking about doing things and not doing it. So we need to get that internet popping, we need to get that going.
If that's an issue, then I would make a motion that we move that information into subcommittee with the asset management procurement subcommittee, and then we discuss it and decide what we can do as a board and bring it back for recommendation.
So is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Okay. Do you have a second? Go ahead.
I was saying that would go under the technology.
I was thinking.
Yes, and not the asset management,
Asset management and technology. So
because it's a contract.
So then, so would you say that would you say that'd be a twofold thing? So it starts in technology, being that
Technology choose a plan.
technology chooses a plan, and then once it gets to the procurement process, then it goes over to subcommittee for procurement and technology, or procurement and asset.
I
Okay, so,
pull my motion back.
okay, and do you want to make a motion?
First, taking this on?
Correct.
Yeah, I make a motion to take it on, yeah.
Okay.
Technology.
Okay.
And then, so, do we have a second?
With the stipulation.
With the
that it will go-
stipulation.
Yes. That will go to asset.
What if it, you know,
With the stipulation that it will go from the technology committee to provide the plan or to discuss the plan, and then once the procurement is taking place, then it'll go to asset and procurement.
Second.
Nathan Patrick,
Aye.
Rodney McCormick,
Aye.
Stacy Benning. Aye. Talani Rainer,
aye.
Michael Vincent,
Aye.
Kenneth Fly.
Yeah.
Okay. 2-0.
Are you still in your report?
Yes, the other thing that we did get the ID badge machine in, so I will be starting next week making badges for everyone, and I will contact you as soon as we set it up, but we did receive it this week. We were supposed to get the nameplates for every member here. I did it on Amazon, and for some reason, Amazon has sent us notification that it's being delayed. So right now, they're saying between now and September 2nd.
And as regards to the name badges and things like that, can you clarify to the public why are we doing this?
We're doing this because we do have new commissioners aboard, and they are going, visiting, and speaking with residents, so they want to be able to identify themselves as well as the new staff that we have, being able to identify them as employees of the Michigan City Housing Authority.
Thank you. Does that conclude your report?
Also, me and Vice Chair Commissioner McCormick, we did, he was here on the, what date was that, Mr. McCormick? For the zero tolerance.
Oh my goodness, that's last week, I don't remember.
Yeah, but they were out here, and we did have our residents come in because of the zero tolerance. A lot of our residents did come to that meeting, and they did sign. So we have started doing the garbage cans, identifying the garbage cans to each unit, 2 per unit, and it has the white paint on it. So if we see them out, after the trash is run and haven't pulled back, we will be able to give these residents fines. We also have the door tags to put on their unit, showing that they are going to be fined and charged with that. So we've got those in place now.
Where are we at with the tree? Where are we at with the tree service?
The tree service, we're waiting on the bids to come back from them.
And you know, is there a due date on that?
They were supposed to give it to us last night. Both of them said they would give it back to us as soon as possible, but I haven't received the email. Have you received the email?
No.
No.
Are we going to follow up with them either
Yes.
tonight or tomorrow?
Yes. And we'll follow, because they said as soon as they did the bid, they will be able to start immediately, so.
Okay. With that follow-up, are you able to CC Vice Chair McCormick in that email?
Yes.
Okay, and we seen something about training from, we got an invite to Elcar. Can you explain that to the rest of the board, just in case they didn't know it? And there are also training that will be offered through another service? So if you can provide, give us some details on training for commissioners.
Okay, the training for commissioners is Monday, from, I think the first training is 1 to 4, and then on Tuesday, it's 8:30 to 4, I think it's all day. The executive director, Ms. Angela Washington from Elkhart, I met her in South Bend, and she invited some of the housing authorities that was there in South Bend and to the board committee meeting. They're having like a retreat for the board. And they wanted to know if we were able to attend. I know South Bend, Mishawaka, I think Anderson was invited. Those were just some of the surrounding housing authorities that she told me that she did send this invitation out to, as well as us.
With the understanding of that training, is that training like something really significant? Like, is it a annual thing they do, like divide every housing authority around the surrounding communities? Is it,
I can't answer that.
And there is a NARO,
But yeah, Naro does have,
that's a national training.
yeah, they have a commissioner's training, and also the SPADA has a commissioner training. Naro's is in San Diego. Naro, I do have that information. I do have that information, and I can't give it to you all after the meeting, but I do have the information, and it lists the sessions and what they'll be offering for that training.
And are you doing any training? Are you going to do any course training?
My training?
Yes, are you, as executive director, are you doing any course training?
Yes, yes.
Any staff members? Is there already offering any for staff members, including like the maintenance?
Right now, there was nothing for the maintenance group. They do have some for the maintenance, but at this time, there wasn't nothing at either of these trainings at this time.
Okay, and with that being said, I just got a couple more questions, and I yield the floor. But Mr., when was the last time evaluation was done with the maintenance director?
Last year.
Do you know what month?
Evaluation should be coming up this month again, September.
The last year evaluation, is that available? I'm hoping that it's in writing or score or however you did the evaluation.
Yes.
We would like to have emails. Each one of us like to have, commissioners need emails of that evaluation.
Okay.
So we can make a comparison. And how about with the Section 8 director?
Okay.
You did evaluation when last time she received evaluation?
Last year. Everybody received their evaluation last year. We haven't done one for this year.
I would like to see all the evaluations of everybody from last year. And I think everybody here would like to see it, so.
yes. Also, they'll be done, the evaluation is done yearly, so one should be coming up
Yeah.
for each one of these.
Okay, does that conclude your report, or is there still more?
Any questions, any more questions?
Any more questions?
Mr. Benson, I think has something.
I've got, if we want to address these, I've got a laundry list of statements and questions for the executive director if this is appropriate time.
Yeah. Is there a report?
Yeah, I would like to start off with 2 weeks ago, we all started with our subcommittee meeting and meeting in subcommittee and everybody being new and really trying to hit the ground running and understand what everybody's doing, really wanting to do a good job. And there was some of my subcommittees that I sat on, we had a lot of questions and we needed a lot of information, a lot of data. So we come out of subcommittee with my assignment being retrieve this data so we can look at it. So the first subcommittee I did, I sent an email to the executive director and I didn't have a reply, I didn't hear anything back, and that's okay because it's a lot of things. I want to give her time to collect the information. I believe it was the very next day I met another subcommittee with another list of of information and some more data that that subcommittee would like. So I requested that, and by the time I got home, which was within about 15 minutes after sending an email requesting that information, the executive director called my cell phone and told me that I was, and I'm paraphrasing a lot of this because I didn't write it down, I didn't record it, but and you certainly stop me if I'm off base, but I was told that I was digging into day-to-day business.
They didn't want corrections.
And there was some forms that I wasn't allowed to have, or some of the data I was requesting that we were not privy to. During that phone conversation, I asked that we not have this conversation over the phone, that you could reply to email on those. So I don't know if I'm getting caught up in some political action, or if I'm new and I'm being bullied, or otherwise trying to be stamped down in what we're trying to do here. But there was no email reply saying that I wasn't allowed to have it. There was no email reply saying that I wasn't privy to some of the data, or I'm not supposed to dig into day-to-day. What I did receive is a PDF printout of some of the forms and some of the data that we were requesting. So and this was communicated with our chair president, and it was shocking to me that information somehow that got out to the rest of the board, and Virginia spoke up, and she knows about open door policy rules and what we're supposed to be doing with the housing authority. And she came out with an email that explained what we are allowed to have and what you are supposed to give us. From that email, there was I'll call it an obscene amount of emails thrown back and forth with accusations, and it just went off the rails. Due to that going off the rails, and just from Virginia trying to do the right thing, I think those emails let her know what she was in for, and she's not prepared for that. So she has subsequently resigned from the board, and I think we're losing a valuable asset just because maybe she's caught up in some politics, or maybe she's caught up in some bullying, and she just didn't want to deal with it. So I just wanted to get that out there, that it was not Virginia sending out the email, or it wasn't anything with her effect. It started with me and our phone call. So with that being said, the data that each subcommittee asked for, it's my understanding that we are to receive it. And we are to receive it in proper methods. Not if you have Excel spreadsheets, we would like the Excel spreadsheets. We find no use of an Excel spreadsheet printed in PDF and sent over in a continued page document. Some folks on the board can use Excel, and we can use it to our advantage. So if that is our computer system, we need to be privy, and we need to have a sign-in for that computer system so that we can do our data mining, and we can look at things that we need to look at in our own subcommittees without going through 43 pages of PDF Excel documentation to try and do the math. It just bogs down. All of us here are part-time, except the executive director. And we don't have time to sit and do the math and print out all these forms and look. We can go through the Excel much quicker and get the answers that we need that way. So that's all I have to say on that subject.
What were the documents that were requested that were not given or deemed day-to-day operations?
I gave them,
No, I think the question is, what documents did I ask for that you feel was digging into the day-to-day?
Yes.
like I said, I think I gave you all the documents
Initially or after the phone call?
after the phone call.
What was it that triggered your response to me that said I'm digging into the day-to-days?
What happened is that I really glanced at it and that was my fault. I didn't go all the way into what you were asking for. And when I first read it, my mind was like this day to day, but then when I went back through it, that's when I realized, oh, I can give you this, and that's what I
Is
did.
there anything that the board is not allowed to have?
Of my knowledge, just,
Then there shouldn't have been a question in your mind of, can I give this or can I not give it?
well, it's the personal information of the residents that you are not supposed to have without the resident permission.
Okay, names, addresses, we're allowed to have those.
Of my knowledge,
If I may interject, that's why we got an attorney, and that's, I think it's a legal question.
Okay.
And I think that we should just, then that way we can get a true answer.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to
What committee are you speaking about?
This was on the Ethics Committee and also Asset Management Procurement Committee.
And I'm on the Ethics Committee. Commissioner Vincent and I initially met, and those were the things that he submitted, the requests he submitted to Executive Director Hutton. I was aware of those things. There were 4 specific things that he asked for. And one of the things that he asked for, I'm not sure if you received any of those things except for the ACC. I know we did get that, but I'm not sure about the other things. If the number one thing, and I'm not sure if I'm able to say it, what it is that we asked for or not. But one of the things, the number one thing that you asked for, I know for a fact, at our resident initiative / security subcommittee, I know that we were privy, actually we had an actual copy, because Commissioner Fly is the chair of that committee, and I know that at that subcommittee, we actually have that list of the tenants. I'll just come out and say it. We had the list of the tenants that reside out here. That was one of the things that we asked for. So that's a conflict if he wasn't privy or allowed to receive those things that he requested under this subcommittee, but then we were allowed under the resident subcommittee. That's a conflict.
but he did receive the same thing that you
She's
said.
had personally.
He did receive the same.
Okay.
He received the same.
I wasn't made aware of the things
Yeah,
because I wasn't CC'd on that, so
Right, and one of my first things was please reply to all.
it
Yeah.
was.
And I think that's crucial for transparency. I think every response should be by email back a written response. So we won't have this bickering or back and forth and we have a record of it. So I think we should be responding by email to any response, Ms. Hutton. That's just,
Right. But I did respond back to Commissioner Vincent. What I did is I even took what he requested and I put in NA because it didn't exist or.
I just, in my mind, after I did receive all the information, in my mind, it was just, what if I would have just said okay on that phone call that you give me? Would I have received anything then? Would you have changed your mind?
No, I was still good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any more questions?
Next subcommittee part about residential, that's what we at?
no, it's still on director.
We're still under the director report, I think.
Oh,
Are you?
so on director's work. Well, I
They were
want to say something about subcommittee very fast, just real fast. Just a quick understanding that with each other, and correct me if I'm wrong, or just asking, okay, I want to know. With the different subcommittees that we have, by us being board commissioners, we put on this board, to acknowledge and handle and be addressing every part of the housing authority. We wasn't put on the board just for, okay, you just do this and you don't worry about none of this, do this, don't. So what I'm trying to get to is it a must that just because you're not in that subcommittee that you can't be involved or give insight or information to the subcommittee chair of that subcommittee just because we are not in that subcommittee? So what I'm saying, we supposed to turn a blind eye when we think we may have valuable information or even direction for a different subcommittee, even though we're not in that subcommittee. So what I'm trying to ask is, we're not on the board to just handle just one subcommittee. And
I would say-
this is an informational thing. I'm just trying to see where you guys feel. How does that go?
Yeah, so to answer your question, I would say we all have a joint mission, the same joint mission. So if anybody has anything to add to any subcommittees, they're more than welcome, you know, and they would just be in communication to whoever the chair of that board is. For example, myself, I'm not chair of any of the committees. So like if you had something that you want to collaborate with the chair of the technology, that would be between you and Commissioner Reyna, or you and Commissioner Vincent, or Commissioner, or anybody who are chairs of those
Right,
subcommittees.
I see where you're
Yeah.
going with it, but I kind of tad bit feel a little bit, you know, unknowing. Not saying it's anybody's fault, but unknowing of certain things in the other subcommittees, you know. I just want to be all the way involved with everything, and it feels separated somewhat. you know.
Mr. Chair, if I may, maybe this is a big part of what we do and how we got in trouble before, but subcommittees are made up of 3 members, which is a non-quorum. So anything that's talked about in subcommittee, non-quorum is not open to the open door policy.
Right.
It's a non-meeting at that point. It's a discussion, it's a subcommittee. As soon as a subcommittee of 3 would invite you in to set, that number now turns to 4. Now it's subject to open door policy, and then we get in trouble. So myself, as a head of a subcommittee, I would welcome any, with your experience and your knowledge, I would welcome any suggestion that you have. I would just have to, myself, caution not to include you.
Right, as an actual meeting member.
Yes, yeah. But by all means, yes, you should, take it upon yourself to just address the chair.
Not saying that I had anything specific that I was related. I just wanted to feel how we supposed to go if we did get in that position where we had knowledgeable information. I want to kind of jump in a different subcommittee and just give it,
And just briefly, we need to trust each other, right?
Right.
And it'd be overwhelming for us to be on every one of the commissions. So you need to trust us, and that's why we have commissioner reports. Committee reports, and you'll hear the report. And if it's something you haven't brought to the table, you also have a vote. And we have to trust you when you bring your report if you want to change something, and we're going to probably lean towards the recommendation of our chair and each other, right?
Right.
So I think it's important that we just keep.
I just don't want nobody to be unprivy to certain information and then get up in here and be talking about something, and then the subcommittee already got it handled. And just because I'm not knowing, I done brought up an issue that's been taken care of, like that.
So as you can see, our agenda has changed.
Yeah.
So we had items on here that we didn't have, which our handbook clearly states that we must have. And that's one of the things that's on here now. So subcommittee reports. So if you look at it, it clearly states it. And then in our commissioner handbook, it's also labeled what we have to do, what needs to be on our agenda. And I think we're doing a good job. I just think that we need to just show a little patience towards each other, and keep looking at our handbook. And it's on page 63 of the handbook, and it lays out exactly what needs to be on our agenda. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification, everyone.
All right, so we're still under the director report. Is there anything more to add? No? Okay, so we can...
Mr. Chair, I do have something to add to the director report. I think we started to talk a little. I know you left me a voicemail and I didn't answer because I don't want to get back into the phone call conversation, which leads itself to he said, she says.
I sent you an email also.
And what I want to do is talk with the board. And we mentioned a little bit, I think it was a brief little blurb that we talked about a letter to be sent to the residents. And when you sent me the email and the voicemail, you were asking what I wanted in that letter. And I think we, as a board, we discussed that maybe something should be sent out to the residents just to clarify where they are when something happens, or who they are to contact when something goes wrong. And some of those things, I wrote it down in bullet points here because I myself want to know what are those actions that are to be taken by us, by you, your maintenance team, and then by the residents. Some of those things that maybe it isn't a letter, maybe the residents know already, but I would like to know what happens if an issue comes up after hours with the residents in regards to HVAC, heating, air conditioning, plumbing.
Let her answer.
Okay.
One at a time. Let her answer.
Oh, sorry.
I think she just quoted me down.
Oh, okay.
That's the question.
Okay, you wanted to know what happens?
Well, if a resident, if it's in the middle of the winter and they lose their heat and it's midnight, I mean, do they have a contact? Is there a phone number, or is there somebody?
It's like the last power outage was 48 hours before anyone knew anything almost.
Right. There is an answering service. We do have an answering service.
Is it the same answering service that hung up on me twice?
Yeah, but don't worry.
I don't know.
But I mean, but that's the thing, 48 hours and people have no power and nobody knew.
Let her answer.
I emailed, once the first time we had the first power outage that we had, I emailed Curtis. I emailed Curtis when we got, because when you call, NIPSCO, they can't find us. Can't nobody find us. So, you know, if all the residents call and give them the address, they can't find us. So I emailed Curtis and told him, because I have kids and stuff. He didn't get, when he did get back, he didn't get back to me. He just told me that he read my message. That was days after. But we can sitting here with days without power.
Point of order. We will allow you to speak. We want to hear everything you have to say, but we got that during public comment. Right now, we have a question on the table to the director, so she can tell everybody the protocol on what needs to happen. Don't forget what you were saying. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. So, like I said, we have an answering service at this time, and the answering service will contact Clem, the maintenance supervisor, and then they will contact me if they can't do it.
But what happened last time?
Last time they contacted Clem, and Clem called NIPSCO, and NIPSCO told him that they would be out, and that we were we was in line, you know, it was a whole bunch of outages, and they would get to us, but they were aware.
How was Clem contacted?
The answering service.
So I think the problem is,
Have you monitored the answering service? Have you ever just tested them?
The answering service? No, I haven't. I mean, I called them back and they've answered me.
I've called and had them make sure they called you. And I was in Houston, Texas, when I heard about the outage. I was hot from the heat down there and then hot from what was going on here again. And the lady, it was a tenant on the phone, and their answering service was disrespectful. And I'm like, who trained you and where are you from? These people, whoever answered the service is not from Michigan City. They're not friendly. I digress. I'm just gonna go ahead and Mr. Vincent.
Yeah, let me go back, get sidetracked. Go ahead, Ms. Sutton.
Okay, well, I was saying the answering service normally calls either me or Clem, and then we respond.
So they only know, answer service only knows when people call,
Right,
if there's ever an issue.
right.
However, the property manager is not housed here, right?
No,
Where's the property manager?
Does the property
property
manager have any type of connection or relationship with the on-call person, the emergency after-hours person, so that they can coordinate since he is the property manager?
right now, the property manager we have is a part-time property manager, and so I am the person that they contact, not the property manager.
And that's Curtis Lewis.
Yes.
We'll put you on policy.
If I may, who is that? Who answering the phone? Who is that?
Somebody.
I don't,
Wait, man, from the property.
it's a company, so I don't know.
She answered your question.
Who, yeah,
I
who,
I know the company, but I don't know how many employees or who are employed on there.
What's the name?
Only because you just asked me. Goodness.
You can get back to me.
Yeah, I'll do that.
who votes on saying that, okay, we want this company to take care of our tenants in the event that they need something? Who does that? Is it the board?
And no,
Or-
for the answering service, I did the answering service.
Answer service right now. We got a problem.
So that's something that can be reevaluated.
Yes. If they think we need a different answering service, there are different answering services.
And is there kind of like
There has to be
a call log? Is there like a,
Yeah, they send
there like
us, they send me a sheet of everybody that calls every day.
so
If
it's,
it was a call, they send us the sheets of the call, and if it was a no call, they send me an email saying it was no call. We get,
So we don't have no.
so is there like a list of answering services that we can choose from, like a lead provider or something like that, or how is this?
no, what I did is I spoke with the different housing authorities and asked them what answering service they were using.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else use this, any other authority use this answering service?
I think so. There's a few other housing authorities that use this answering service. But I know Gary has a different answering service, so I will check with them about theirs.
We just need to make sure that these people are available, that they are proactive, because at our resident meeting, this is what we handed out to the tenants. And they need to know that this is a reliable source for them when they're in time of need, and
Okay.
it's very important.
Okay.
So we,
So you got.
before I move on and continue, is this recommendation of the board that we continue this way? Or should we take this to subcommittee to find a different way to contact the executive director in case of a problem?
I see.
Whether it be direct cell phone to her email, somehow she's got to get the message within less than an hour,
We have
especially if the heat is out in the wintertime.
policy board.
Yeah, so would you make is that a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, we send to subcommittee,
Which,
Policy.
yeah, I think that would fall under policy and personnel. Yeah.
make a motion, we send to policy and personnel subcommittee to investigate a better way for residents to contact housing authority with emergencies.
I will stipulate to that, I will agree to that with one stipulation, that you will now head the policy. You become the head of that policy.
It's already in the subcommittee.
No, Virginia was over that, she's the chair.
Now we need a new chair.
Oh,
Would you accept it?
sure.
Second.
Okay, so can you repeat your motion with that?
I make a motion, we send to subcommittee of
Policy and personnel.
policy and personnel to investigate a better way for residents to contact Michigan City Housing Authority with issues arise.
Second.
Okay.
Okay,
Return the roll.
roll call. Nathan Patrick,
Aye.
Rodney McCormick,
Aye.
Stacy Benning,
Aye.
Talani Raina,
I
Michael Vincent,
Aye.
Kenneth Fly,
Yeah.
We're still on director.
6-0, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're still on the record.
Okay. This is all just because I'm new and I don't know, I'm just asking the question now.
Okay.
What happens in the wintertime with snow removal?
The snow removal, we get a contractor to remove the snow.
To include sidewalks and doorways
Yes,
within the complexes?
yes.
What about the scattered
The
residents?
scattered residents, they do the streets, and the scattered, the residents are supposed to do their sidewalk.
Their own driveways and sidewalks?
Yes.
I move that we send that also to committee, policy and personnel, because the history of snow removal has been horrible. It's been horrible and it's been non-existent. And I move that we send that over to personnel and policy also, to make sure we get something in writing.
I second it.
Commissioner Hudson? Chairman Hudson? Director Hudson?
I have a question.
What's that?
I didn't hear what the motion was, so I can break the motion.
I motion that we move the snow removal, we're gonna create a snow removal policy. And we sending it to personnel and policy
Okay,
committee
And I
for
second.
review.
all right. Nathan Patrick?
Aye.
Rodney McCormick?
Aye.
Stacy Benning?
Aye.
Talani Randall? Michael Vincent?
Aye.
Kenneth Fly?
Yeah.
Okay, 6-0.
And another one of the things that I'd like to bring up, and again, because I don't know, I'm asking the question. I know I am especially throwing a lot at you because I feel like, again, we talked at the last meeting that I can't believe that a board this important that involves this many people are only meeting once a month. So I've got to get all my thoughts out now, because if I don't, next month, the leaves are going to be falling, and if we don't get them out the next month, the snow is going to be on the ground, and time just goes by too fast. So I'm just trying to get all of the questions I have out now. I'm interested in knowing if there is an ongoing property inspection, and mainly the reason I ask is because all the contractors are going to stop working soon, especially when it comes to roofing and structural, if it needs some tuck pointing in the bricks or some other structural damage or needs a repair in the house, that contracting work is going to stop soon. So if any of our residents or any of our properties need that kind of work, we've got to jump on that now and start getting some contractors in place. So I'd just like to know and that's another thing, one of the things that I've asked for is what properties do we have slated? And I know I've seen quotes about interior kitchen sinks being replaced and some tile put down on the floor, but none of that does any good if you have a leaky roof. And the leaky roof does no good to fix that if your foundation's falling apart. So I'd just like to know that we have any professional inspection reports on all of our properties, and do we upgrade those in a certain amount, in timely fashion?
Okay, in public housing, the property manager does the inspections of
The
it.
part-time property manager,
Yes.
what qualifications does he have for inspections?
He's been certified in inspections with, in housing, because he's been in housing. He's just part-time here, but he was previously in housing for X amount of years. So it's not like,
Does he still hold live certifications or valid
Yeah.
certifications?
yes.
Okay, so if he has a report out that something has failed or something needs attention, we have that on file.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he wrote
And
the
how do
report.
we as a board get our eyes on that? Especially the procurement subcommittee or a subcommittee that needs to go out
Now,
and look
we
at bids.
also have the report from HUD that HUD did, and it, if you look at that REACT report, it lists all the findings and everything that's in units that was also inspected. So you have that report, you can,
The inspections I've seen is probably a half a dozen inspection reports, but we have how many units?
yeah,
We have triple digit.
186.
180, I should see 186 inspection reports there. Do we have those?
Yeah,
We do.
we do move-in inspections, and we do annual inspections of our units.
Oh, with regards to structural and structural integrity and roofs and.
Well, if they see that the roof is, there's a problem with the roof, but then, that's why we had put out the P&E, the physical needs assessment that I had put out. I have to rebid that out, and that would do the entire portfolio.
So it seems like we need a physical needs assessment subcommittee. Well, seems like we need to send that to subcommittee, physical needs assessment on all of our properties.
That's not our duty. I think that's the duty of the director.
Yeah.
I think we overstepping now.
I have
I'm not sure.
I have that out, and when I put it out, nobody responded. But I'm
Wait. When you say you put it out and nobody responded, who did you put it out to and who was supposed to respond?
I put it out to the local A&E, A&E contractors, because the city gave me a list.
Wait. So are you talking about the contractors that we've been going back and forth with?
No, I'm talking from the city.
Okay. And so when did you put this out?
When you all first got on board, I think you all had a copy of the physical needs.
So it seems like we need
Put
to
it-
scratch that and we need to do it again.
Right.
Some of the things I seen when I did see that list, I don't know how they couldn't see the stuff that we're seeing. Like a lot of these places out here need roofs.
We have columns.
All boarded up. That's what I noticed when I came up in here.
We-
There's a lot of units boarded up. For what?
We have columns in front of our residents' doorsteps that still live there. Just right there.
And some of those were reported 2 weeks ago, I know, because we were out here and I was told that it had been reported and that they were getting ready to resolve that issue then, but it's still the same way.
So how soon can the physical needs assessment be opened up? And I guess, do you only have to operate from the list that the city gives you?
No.
So does it take the same
can go-
process, kind of like we
Like the
did our attorney?
Yeah.
So would anybody care to make a motion that we get that process started?
I make a motion, we open bid for the P&E report to have contractors bid on the work that needs to be done.
That's why we need a list first.
So she would have,
No, the physical needs assessment is gonna do all our properties, not just one specific property. They're gonna go in, they're gonna walk through, they're gonna tell us what we need to keep, what we might need to,
so that's interior, exterior, structural, everything.
yeah.
And who does this?
A&E firm,
So that's just a specific firm.
that's the type of firm, that
It's
do.
the state person that does the inspection, correct? That's,
No, it's,
Any firm that has the A&E qualifications?
right.
Okay, understood.
We are aware that we do have a bulk of equipment of our own. Some of it's brand new. I think so far the pickup truck, maybe some soap towels over in the maintenance building. I was thinking if it's brand new and sitting down there, I would hope we could put that to use or start putting it to use considering we spent money on it and it's workable.
Yeah, but at this time, we don't
That
have.
suggestion.
how long will it take?
Maintenance man, go ahead.
How long will it take for us to get this, get somebody started on getting this done?
The
Giving us an
P&E.
assessment, yes.
I have to put it out, just like we did the attorney.
I second Mr. Vincent's motion.
I'm rethinking my motion to pull it back, because now I'm thinking if you give a contractor with the P&E list, they're gonna go in and they're going to look at everything.
Yes,
They're gonna pull kitchen sinks, they're gonna do new cabinets, they're gonna do everything.
no, they're not gonna do it, they're gonna write it up for us, telling us what we need to
The
do.
physical need assessment.
Physical need, they're doing an assessment.
I'm thinking that narrows our scope, or that narrows our contractors that we're able to look at. If we need, because you drive right along Cartwright Road, I can see missing gutters, missing fascia, roofs. I'm not an expert, but I can look at the roof, and if it was my house, I would want somebody to come out and at least tell me about it. So I think we need to separate out this P&E. I think it's too big of an animal for some of the local people to look at. If I get an expert.
This is approval, this is
No.
approval person.
Right, this is the assessment, this is like the roadmap to tell us what we need to do and where we need to
To get
go.
procurement, we even, I
Right.
think we have to have that.
We have to have that.
But I don't want somebody to come in and start pulling kitchen sinks and.
They're not gonna, no, they're not gonna pull the kitchen sink. They're gonna
give us a recommendation. So after they do the physical needs assessment, it is their job to give us a recommendation of what needs to be done. Like they come back and they say, we need new
They're gonna
units.
have all
Or we need to get this done, get done. Then we move on
Right.
to
Let's
procuring.
separate the bids so that we can say, well, we want you to do the roof first. Or we want you to do
No. This is how they go in and they give us an assessment of all our properties. They tell what is wrong with it, what the life expectancy is, what they think we need to do per each unit. Once we get a list of all 186 units, then we can look at, are we gonna keep these units? Are they viable? Is this area viable? Are we gonna scope it out and do X amount, YZ roofs? Do it be roofs?
This is
Then it do
one
rock furnaces?
company that's gonna come in and do that, or?
Yeah. No.
She put it out to bid.
Put it out to bid and we don't know how many will come
But
at.
another thing that I'm concerned about is the inconveniencing of residents. I mean, they don't want to sit in their house and hear half a dozen P&E people knock on the door and say, we'd like to. look at
Normally
your
it's
bathroom."
just one inspector and normally if he tells me when he's gonna do, I have to notify the resident 48 hours in advance and he will tell me what he plans to do and
But
who.
you have this one today, and then tomorrow you're gonna have another one, and then you'll have another one the next day. I don't know how the residents feel about revolving door. But
No, he only goes to that one unit, one time.
I understand, but several people are gonna bid on it.
No.
We have one inspector.
No,
Yes.
yeah.
One inspector will submit.
The bid
Then she chooses how.
One inspector comes up with a report.
Correct.
And then that report goes to several contractors to do.
Well, no,
No,
they make their
come back to
recommendations.
us. They come to us.
Yeah, I gotta come back.
They make the
Come to
recommendation.
us.
Then we gotta go into the procurement again and try to get the money and get it done.
Okay.
Let me send it out.
All right, I'm following, and again, just as I said before, I'm seeing, when you say it's gotta go here, then it's gotta go there, in my mind, it's clicking months.
We think on the time when they.
Now it's February, nobody's gonna work on February, but it says it's a crucial need for this structure or the house is gonna fall down.
That's why
That's why we need to get the assessment done.
that's why she's
Yeah.
working on it like
It's,
now.
and so just to let you know, just to let you know, it's twofold. Okay, so physical needs assessment. Physical needs assessment comes to us, the board, makes a recommendation. Okay, and so I can give you my word, as far as, because I can't control anything about how we meet every month. But me as the chair, I can give you my word to say that I understand the importance of this, right? And we want to get this done for our residents. So one thing that I can do is call executive meetings or special meetings. And then one thing that we all can do as a board, two or three of you with written requests can come to me and say, we need to have an executive or a special meeting, and I can say yes or no, but I know the importance, we all understand the importance, so it'll be yes, we're gonna have as many meetings as we need to have or call to get this thing done.
All right, thank you
So-
everyone for being patient with me.
With that being said, can you kind of now that you,
I remove. But
okay, and what is that motion?
The motion is to move on with the P&E
Immediately.
immediately.
I second it.
Nathan Patrick.
Aye.
Rodney McCormick.
Aye.
Stacy Benning.
Aye.
Talani Raina. Michael Vincent.
Aye.
And Kenneth Fly.
Yes.
Okay. 6-0.
And if I may, I'm still on a roll.
Okay.
Michael.
Just want to know about utilities when it comes to our heat and our electric. Is that the responsibility of Michigan City Housing Authority or each individual resident?
It depends what location you're speaking of. In the scattered site, they pay their own NIPSCO utility bills. And out here, they don't. And Boulevard, they don't. We were put under energy efficient contract. The energy efficient, previously before I got here, that was $1 million contract that was put the Housing Authority. And the Housing Authority is on this program for 15 years.
Who signed that contract? Decided?
Norma Thomas,
And that contract was for what?
15 years. Energy.
The price.
$1 million. It's $1 million.
And
No, it was $1 million that the bank had given them to do this energy efficient.
What bank?
FNC is the name of the bank.
And that has something to do with some boilers that they did that was so worthless that did not, that went backwards, did not work.
Who did the board authorize that?
Yes,
The board did authorize that.
yes.
Do you know what year that was? Close?
I think they started in 19 or 18 or 19, but they didn't finish till 21 when I got here.
So we have 15 more years from that date?
15 more years from 21.
We're gonna see if our attorney can get us out of that, but go ahead and turn over.
Okay, all right.
But to his answer, under the energy efficient program, the resident cannot raise their thermostat higher than 75 degrees.
75?
75?
Yeah, I live
That's 70.
75.
I mean, down now.
75.
I did live down there, and the implementation that you guys put in with that system that was going on, it's terrible. It's terrible. For one, the windows are not good, so cold or hot comes through the windows, and monitor thermostat, whatever you want to call it, you can't go no higher than 74, 75 degrees. And with that being said, is in the wintertime, you come in the house trying to warm up or whatever, it's just as cold inside your home as it is outside, and you don't have the affordability to turn the heat up to get warm. And so a lot of the old people down there could suffer from that for quite some time. But unfortunately, this system has been put in place to, save money, but yet at the cost of residents and tenants not being able to warm themselves up or get their house comfortable for them, even if it's only for a 10-minute span to warm up. You know, so now we say we can't use electric heaters out there, things like that nature, and you'll get, I think I remember saying you get penalized, you get caught with an electric heater up in there, or something like that, but it's a twofold.
Since I've been here, the residents can use a heater.
Use the electric heater. Well, it's been emphasized quite majorly that you're opposed to.
If I may interject just one thing on this, because I'm sick and tired of seeing this. I don't know what our long-term goals are. I don't know what our 5-year plan, but we need to incorporate getting central air in every unit within the next 5 years. We cannot continue to let these air conditioners hang out of the window like we in the 60s in Montgomery, Alabama somewhere. We need to do better by the tenants. And we need to make sure that in our next time we do when we do our annual, we need to make sure that's one of our goals, to make sure in the next 5 years, every unit that we have will be outfitted with central air. I just want to say that.
And we do pay Lakeland and Gardens, Boulevard Gardens, they pay NIPSCO that allowance, right? They pay the, $30 a month on the rent?
No, they pay something. They pay nothing.
I thought it was called, utility amount?
Okay, so point of order, we want to get back on track here. Commissioner, do you have any more?
Just the water. The water is the water residents' responsibility, water and sanitation. Or is that housing?
We pay the water.
We pay the water, and that's why we talked about the residents' trash cans,
Yeah, we pay
because
the water.
that's our responsibility.
Oh, that's only if you want air conditioning, right, on the electric. If you
Now,
want air conditioning.
previously, when I got here, they was charging during the summer months for the air conditioner, which was $20, an extra charge. But I have stopped that,
You stopped it.
yes.
Okay, so they can have air conditioning without the charge.
Right.
Well-
And because of the COVID and stuff, we have to charge them for air conditioning.
Do you have one last question?
Yeah, I got another question. In this, this revolves around our business system. In your office, what business system are we running? Do you have anything like SharePoint that you use, or is there a Access database or anything that you use within the office?
SharePoint? No.
I'm just, and the reason I'm asking is,
I mean, we can get it if that's something that you all want.
well, and I don't want to disrupt anything that you already have going on in your office. I just want to make it easier for us as commissioners to easily access things. For example, the work orders. I seen a work order report. You had like 80 work orders last week. Are those stored on a database or a computer system that we can sign in, look through and find the work orders, how many hours we worked on it, what it was, or is it in a filing cabinet somewhere?
No, that is in the computer system.
It is. Is it a system we can access, or do we have to go down to the housing authority building to log in?
I would have to check and see if you all can access.
Because I, for one, I don't know if any of the other commissioners, I would like to see, we're talking about having a part-time maintenance manager, and we have other part-time maintenance people. Where are all these work orders getting fulfilled, and what are they for?
Do you want to send this to technology and let them see?
Yeah, make that motion, I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion?
Motion.
I make a motion we send to technology subcommittee for investigation.
For the SharePoint.
For SharePoints or a,
Yeah, that's just a very nice computer, it doesn't have to be that.
yes.
It can be an Excel spreadsheet, does the same thing.
Just access the information.
Correct.
To get at
Savvy, technical savvy.
Okay,
on that.
so what I would like to do, so it's 4:08, we've been going for over an hour so far. So with the next, was that your last point?
There's a motion on the floor and it's been seconded.
Yeah.
So what's the motion?
The
Yeah,
motion is to send it to technology.
and there was a second?
Yes.
Okay.
Nathan Patrick.
Aye.
Rodney McCormick.
Aye.
Stacy Benning. Aye. Talani Raina.
Aye.
Michael Vincent.
Aye.
Kenneth Fly.
Yeah.
6-0.
Okay. Was that your last point?
That was, yes.
Okay, so like I said, we're well over an hour into our meeting, so so we have some more things to cover here. So I would like to ask if we can just be straight to the point, because some people are on their lunch breaks, they have to get back to work, I myself included. So the next thing on the agenda here is we did the director's report, Michigan City Housing Authority Attorney's report. We don't have that yet. We have staff reports.
You asked them to be here, they're here.
With our staff reports, who would you like to call first? And do we have our commissioners with the questions? Do we have our pointed out questions that we would like to ask? Okay. So you want to call the first?
You.
So
So how?
Ms. Howe,
Yes.
could you give a report on Section 8 to the board, please?
Board report that I submit every month, because you can have a copy of that. We have baseline vouchers for 371. We have least or 288. We have 56 federal homeowners. We have 139 actual service people. One came off the program.
Can
You gotta speak up.
One second. Can you,
I'm sorry.
are you picking that up?
Paper rattling like that. I mean, everybody got to get front of the phone.
Microphone's right there in front of you.
Well, if we can get her to step up, I'll come to the front chair or something.
Can you come to the
Front chair.
front?
See,
That's good.
Okay, we had 371 baseline vouchers. Total vouchers that are released are 288. There are 56 open. 139 people are searching. We lost one voucher holder last month. We have 4 home ownership vouchers. Tenant opt-out vouchers are 4. Families who have escrow balance, 1. FSS family graduates is 0. We have 2 vouchers, 2 participants who live elsewhere with report outs. We have 3 port-ins. The 139 vouchers that are on the street are searching, waiting for inspections to pass or relocating to other cities.
when you say ownership vouchers, what is that?
Those are the people who own their own home with vouchers. It's the same concept as renters. The housing authority, or HUD pays a portion of their mortgage.
Is that the same for tenant opt-out?
Opts are either called tenant preservation. What happens is some apartment complexes who have their own Section 8, they may have paid off their mortgage, and they are under certain rules and guidelines for that program. So when they paid the mortgage off, they no longer had to adhere to those guidelines. So instead of putting the people in hardship, they gave them to us so we can continue the subsidy. So HUD gave us vouchers, like a few years ago, we took over Woodland East, and they gave us 84 vouchers to service those families. And so as long as they're in those units, their payment standard is different from regular voucher holders. And as long as they're in that unit, they remain under, so we've actually paid more subsidy for them.
So they kind of grandfathered from whatever situation or landlord or
I wouldn't
you said
call it grandfather,
what
it
you said
was,
they just transferred over because
yes, we took them, we had the option of taking them, because if they remained in the complex without help, their rent would be raised, and they wouldn't be able to afford the rent.
When you said, we talked about the home ownership voucher program, does that program exist anymore?
It's still there, yes.
When was the last time it was implemented or used?
It's been a while, maybe 2012, I think.
Is that something you can give us a direct answer to at a later time?
What do you mean?
Can we get the exact date? Can you provide that to?
2012 is when we did the NSP program on the west side. So I can look that up to make sure that that's correct.
And just, can you just forward that to Ms. Hutton and I will take it from there and I'll make sure everybody else get a copy of it as well.
Okay.
Just so I can understand, this period. It's been since 2012, since the home ownership program actually had someone that participated.
I believe so.
so 10 years ago.
Yes. The program has always been there. It's being offered, but people have to utilize it. If they're not utilizing it, we can't.
I mean, is there a training program for them to go through?
Yes.
Let me answer. One of the things is.
Ms. Hutton, excuse me, point of order. This is why we brought in the qualified people to see if they qualify. She should be able to answer the questions, and I think that we should allow her to answer the questions, please. Thank you.
And I think so too. Well, so with the home ownership program, you said that people have to take advantage of it or show up, and it's hard to take advantage of something that's not not there.
Oh, you mean currently now?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not being offered because you have to be a FSS participant, and currently we don't have that program. Until our administrative plan changes, which we're working on right now to change that, that's the policy.
And so the administrative plan starts with the director.
It's Section 8.
Administrative plan.
Got it.
That-
Oh, that's the name of a process.
That's the name of the book, their manual, their policy book. Yeah,
And that is,
And until that is changed,
right, because in that plan, it says it has to have a FSS program.
So it hasn't been since 2012 that no one really wanted to continue the goal of accomplishing getting the program back up and running really well, because I know a lot of tenants or qualified participants didn't participate because of unknowing. Some of it was unknowing of the program itself.
for Section 8, when they come on the program, that information is given to them. And it's also a conversation that, but currently, how long have you been on Section 8?
I don't think that's relevant.
Yeah,
I don't think that's relevant.
I don't have it right now.
I
And
understand.
we can't, but all that information is given out at orientation. If you look in the folder that was handed out, it's in
That's
there.
fine, but reiterating it and keeping them up to date with it is not, it shouldn't be that bad of an issue to keep reminding them of. Just bringing it back up, reiterating the program
So
itself.
I do that when I know that I have some people on the program, we have qualifications that they must meet. There's a booklet also in your orientation packet that we gave out that explains the qualifications for the program. And so when I'm aware that some of my participants meet those, I do encourage that.
Okay,
And
that's great.
classes that they can
So that
take.
happened in the course in 2012, so
No, I'm-
hopefully we get back on track with it.
When we change the policy,
Yeah, hopefully we get everything back on track.
Are you familiar with a young woman by the name of Kimberly Harris?
yes, I am.
Is it true that she went through the program, went to the classes, got a loan, and never was able to get a house, and then the program just like basically disappeared, or what's the explanation on that?
I actually had a conversation with her. So she had to answer that question for me
And when you had this conversation with her,
a few years ago.
did she meet the qualifications? The question I'm asking right now. Did she have the money? Did she get approved for the loan? And did she meet the qualifications and finish her classes?
You may want to ask her that. I'm
She,
not really comfortable having that conversation on camera. So if you want to meet, the three of us want to meet, because I had a conversation with her.
I had a conversation with her as well.
But
And
I'm not going to have this conversation.
that's part of the problem right there. And that's part of the problem right there. When we try to have conversations with you, I tried to have conversation with you.
point of order.
The next thing I know, I'm on the phone trying to talk to you, and the phone just like not a click, it just mutes, and the next person picks up is Miss Hutton. So communication is a must.
Excuse me, can I speak? That happened one time. And the reason why I put you on hold, you asked me questions pertaining to Section 8, I answered them. But then when you started with, I'm gonna get an attorney.
Point of order.
Was when I
That's not true, and I do have it on. No, we're not gonna go point of order. This is what we're here to address this, sir. I have it on recording. That did not take place. That did not take place. I was asking questions, and if I'm not mistaken, Commissioner Fly went through this, Mr. Malone went through this when he was on this board. These are attitudes that we just have to deal with in this. I'm tired of hearing the complaints. And I felt the complaints. I was a victim of it. So this has to be addressed. We got her here to ask questions. I think, Mr. President, I think we should be able to vent what we are feeling in this. Our constituents that's out here, we owe it to them. Because I'm gonna go home no matter what. I'm gonna go home. But at some point, I'm getting tired of the calls also and hearing the complaints. I have nothing further.
Right. So the only thing that I would say is like the using of the names of the different individuals that use assistance is just, I don't think we should. I don't think we should.
Can't do that.
That is public record when you fill out the application. The name of the individual is public record. Her social security number, her finances, all of that stuff is different, but I'm not gonna sit here and bicker with anybody. That's why we have an attorney that's gonna be present. And I'm gonna bring it back up when we have our attorney.
I like to put just a little simple input into this, and don't involve anyone's name or qualifications or therefore non-qualifications. Unfortunately, Miss Kathy, don't want me to be called down your back, Miss Kathy. I'm not sure how good of a people's person you are. I have dealings with you also. I don't know what it's going to take for your compatibility level with the tenants and residents. You know, so far as your job itself and what you do, I think you probably do a good job. But your social skills with public is really needs some help. You know, I can't really think of anyone that's really in good feelings with you when it comes to being their section manager. And I'm sure you heard this plenty of time. That's why I don't want to just keep going over a dead horse and beat it. But I would just hope that you would take some of this into consideration and not take it as a bad thing, just take it as constructive criticism. And don't think it's actually a drill on you, just trying to pounder you. But I would hope you would take some of that with you and maybe just think about maybe how you talk to people. Really no rebuttals, that's just a suggestion.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Vincent?
Any more questions? No more questions. Okay. So I think we're gonna move on. I see Curtis left, so I guess it wasn't that important that he stayed and we asked questions of him, but
Oh, that was that the project manager?
Yes.
yeah.
I think he just did. We would have him for a reason. But you don't know that, right? Okay.
So, okay, so that concludes staff reports.
Wait a minute, we have Ms. Rochelle that maybe she want to introduce herself. She don't have a report. I don't know. Everybody don't know her. I don't know what she does, so.
Ms. Rochelle.
I will. Myself. My name is Michelle Allison. I'm accounts payable / whatever the Sharon needs me to be.
Slash whatever.
City Housing Authority. I provide the contractor's report for you. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a breakdown of the total of the contracts that we have, and as we went down, it just shows you the percentage that has been, where it's at right there. It tells you when it should be completed. Some of them go from year to year. It tells you when it starts and when it ends, and it tells you the total amounts. That's basically all I do as far as a board report. So that's me.
Thank you, Ms. Rochelle.
Accounts payable, with your, if I may go first, we got with a little input on your end. I think that, and I do have Mr. Kevin here, but not to bring him into the comment, but we have to, it was explained to me about the receipts. It was explained to me somewhat about every so-and-so, they get a document of so many receipts. My demand, and I have to say it as a demand now, is that every time each resident, tenant, or anyone that we take their money from, they need to be given that receipt then, or within a couple of days of right then of that month. So they can keep their own month-to-month receipts and not get it in some, every 2-3 months, like give them a receipt when they pay their rent. That way we don't have to argue about if you paid it. We don't have to worry about going back months and wondering where the money is, and they say they didn't pay, you say they did, all of that. There is no reason, it's called cash and checks and balances. I give you something, I buy something, I want a receipt. And that's how I feel that it needs to be done, and I don't think it's nothing that's unsubstantial. I mean, really substantial, to assure their security, assure their knowingness of knowing that they have paid their rent and they have the recent receipt of that month right then and there to give them, to show. Because I was in a situation where they said I was 3 months behind, and I was trying to move, and took a couple of days, whatever, but he was like, oh, we found it, it was under this and under that. But if not, I would have to yell and argue for continuous days and weeks, trying to explain how I paid my rent. And if I didn't keep the money order little receipt, tag, the little piece thing, I think it just needs to be something that said housing authority receipt, you paid your rent, there you go. All right, everybody.
I like to move effective September the 1st, that we hand out receipts effective immediately of that date.
I second that. I second that.
May I address?
We got a motion on the floor.
Yeah, we have a motion on the floor in a second.
Right.
May I address?
But we got a motion on the
There's a motion and a second on the floor, point of order.
Call the roll. Nathan Patrick.
Aye.
Rodney McCormick.
Aye.
Stacy Benning.
Aye.
Talani Raina.
Aye.
Michael Vincent.
Aye.
Kenneth Fly.
Yeah.
Ms. Rochelle?
In the past, we did give out receipts when we were completely open to the public. When they would come in and they would pay the rent, they got a receipt. Somehow down the line, they dismissed that, and the tenants, we stopped giving the receipts. But since Ms. Sharon has been here, they have been sending them through the mail. So the residents get their receipts. It tells them what they paid and if they have a balance that is left.
We gonna get it right then and now.
I just like to add something. We had the cameraman, Mr. Harmon. He said he hasn't been getting receipts as well. So I don't know what's going on or how the communication is. Things are not dropping. We just want to make sure we get it taken care of so the tenants can be. We putting a lot on the tenants right now, or it's holding them accountable for a lot of stuff, and they're not trying to hold us accountable, which they should have been doing. But we are here. It's a new board, new atmosphere, new day. So if we can work together to get this done and start implementing this come September the 1st, kudos. I'm with you.
I totally agree. Absolutely agree.
Thank you, Ms. Rochelle. Okay. Any more questions? Staff reports. That's into the reports. And so just to clarification, September 1st,
Yeah.
we'll be working together. Before September 1st, we'll be working together with Ms. Rochelle to get this thing implemented. Okay. All right. So that's the end of staff reports. So now we're in the subcommittee reports. We had
Are you coming in or take a seat?
Where we at?
subcommittee reports, which
Mr. Fly, I think he was talking about subcommittee reports for our meeting.
Yeah. I thought we was, what is me on President?
subcommittee.
Okay, well, with the reference, initial subcommittee, actually, I want to hand it on over to Rodney because the reason I want to hand this report over to Rodney is because he did a great effort and putting it together somewhat. I was very busy, but I did come from my major parts and exceptions. But he knows more in great detail. I think he can put it out more better than me right now at this time.
All right. Myself, Commissioner Benning, and Commissioner Fly, who's our chair, we met last week right here, and we're going to meet every month here and downtown. We still haven't made appointment to our meeting time for that to take place. One of the biggest things we wanted to do when we came here was to tell everybody we see the pain and we see the problems. I apologize on behalf of the board, ourselves. We done a horrible job, but we changed it. I guarantee that we're gonna change. So with the help of Ms. Hutton and Rochelle, a lot of people that got involved with this, we came up with a zero tolerance rule, and we made sure all the tenants out here, I think we got everybody signed except maybe two individuals. We got to start with the smallest rules that's causing the biggest headaches. So we started talking about that, getting that done, and more importantly, as far as what we trying to do was not really that important. We needed to hear from the tenants, and the tenants showed up. We would love to have seen more numbers, but a lot of people was at work. I was very encouraged that they're willing to give us a chance and not yell at us but they're tired though. I feel it that they feel like nothing's gonna happen and we gotta prove them wrong on that instance. And with that being said, I'm gonna turn it over to Ms. Benning if she wants to add anything to it.
Yes, we, like you said, we met last week. We did have a pretty decent turnout. The tenants that came out engaged. I thank you, Mr. Johnson, for being here today. We were told that some of the other tenants were going to show up so they could have their voice today also. We did have almost all of the residents sign the zero tolerance rules. We went over them specifically. We had a lot of input back and forth to get an understanding, because there's nothing better in the world than an understanding. And so I think they understood us, we understood them. You have to give respect to get respect, and I think that came across very well that day. In addition to the enforcement of the rules, we also talked about having tenant captains out here. We had at least 3 or 4 different tenants that volunteered, stepped up to be captains out here. Those individuals we put in place so that they would be like the contact person for the housing out here. If there were any problems or issues, they would direct them to that captain, that specific captain. We gave them our names and our numbers as a contact so that if they couldn't call downtown, that they could always reach us as commissioners. Let's see, what else? We did pass out, this is what we were talking about, the emergency after hours contact number. We did have some input from a lot of the tenants of the same things that we were expressing earlier today. Our personnel and policy subcommittee are going to deal with that. So hopefully we can get this issue resolved as well. Trying to think what else. We talked about quite a few things. I'm trying to, off the top of my head, and I didn't bring my notes for that. Let's see.
I was thinking with you.
I think in a nutshell, for the most part, that was the main thing, just getting an understanding with those rules, because some of those were about the animals, the pets that are allowed. Some of them were, one of the other things was the toters, the garbage cans being put out at a certain time and then brought back. So we plan on having a regular meeting out here. We're trying to, make it so that this is your home, this is your neighborhood. And if I lived out here, I would want the neighborhood to be such that I would be comfortable, things were in place if I lived out here. So I want to make it like that for you all also. So we're gonna make sure that we have regular meetings and we're gonna do our part. Like we said, this is the new Housing Authority Board, and we're gonna put some things into place.
And if I can just chip in a little bit with it, there is a such thing of a resident board, a resident committee.
Council.
What is it called again?
Resident council.
Resident council. So with that being said, with the resident council, it's almost similar to what was already, we already want to do, have already, like captains and stuff. But with the resident council, it's more of a stable type deal that really happens within the housing authority and the resident commissioner for resident council. And so what it would be is, I think it's persons from every section, Boulevard, Garden, that's a combination. You get a council, and so there is money and funding within that council, and there is money for the residents to do certain things that's for the residents and our tenants also. Whether out here in Lakeland or whether at Boulevard Gardens, the funds are available. So if you guys give us more time to research and figure out exactly what's available and how can we use these monies to incorporate it within your living areas or your community that you reside in from the housing authority, we're definitely gonna bring that out to you and give it to you, whatever's supposed to be given to you. And with that being said, that's about all that I'm gonna be trying to really focus on is that resident council, seeing what monies are out there or funding we have for that, and start busting that open and spread it out to our tenants and residents. That's all for me.
Thank you. Any more subcommittee reports?
One for the ethics review. We did meet on the ethics review, and we have some things we're going to look over, but just so everyone knows that with the policies and with everything going on, we're going to take this a step at a time. But what we thought in the ethics review committee is we need to have some communication. We have to have better communication with the tenants and with Mrs. Hutton and her team, and maybe that the ethics committee is going to learn a lot from the residents committee in some way for the residents to tell us at the executive committee or the ethics committee what's going on, if there's issues. Just give the residents someone that they can talk to, that they don't have to fear for repercussions. So we'll continue to work on that, and I don't know how things are now, but things are going to continue and move forward that way. Do you have anything to add?
No, I think you covered it. We did request, and we talked about this earlier, we requested some things so that we could be a little bit more informed and proactive on the ethics committee. We were also waiting to get our attorney in place so that we know some of the things to give us some guidelines on how we want to do some of the things on this subcommittee. So now that we are off and running on that we've agreed to who the attorney is going to be on that, we'll be a little bit more active on this ethics committee also.
Good.
Under new business, we're going to table subsection A and B because we need a vote, and right now we are unable to make that vote. If we can just go over the pending item list, Ms.
Okay. July 28, 2022, amend bylaws of the Michigan City Housing Authority. A motion was made to keep the amending bylaws on the table while new members are looking at the bylaws step by step and to revisit this matter once we get an attorney. The next pending item was 728 Resolution 2022-05, the hybrid board meeting. A motion was tabled to keep this until we get legal representation and is able to look at the proposal and advise. 728 board identification, employee identification, and dress code. A motion was to keep this subject on the agenda until quotes are obtained for the name tag. As I stated previously, we do have the machine and we will be issuing tags starting next.
Did we approve, did we have a vote last meeting approving a dress code?
Yeah. For the staff, you talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, we all say yay.
No, that was,
Yeah.
right, that was,
That was handed to a subcommittee.
It was.
right,
Look at the minutes.
Oh,
The detail was here.
shot to the subcommittee?
yes. It wasn't,
Yes, we just checking that. I thought we had a vote on that,
No.
on that.
no.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Iden, I'm sorry.
Workshop with auditor. A motion was to table questions in regards to closed findings and have a workshop with auditor and get answers to questions. We were trying to have a meeting and we had to cancel the meeting. So I guess, once you all can give me a date, I can let the auditor know and see if he's available.
So far, everything you have mentioned, keep it on the to-do list, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I might make a suggestion.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, I would,
Mr.
Also, with regards to the auditor, I think what happened with the auditor is we had it all set up, but this person couldn't make it on this day and that person. It's my suggestion that we set it up with the auditor, whatever day the auditor can make it. And then if there are a few members of the board that can't make it, they'll have to make it up, watch it on video, or because we're not going to get everybody in 100% attendance, even considering the auditor schedule as well. That limits us. So if we're ever going to get it done, we have to set it to the auditor schedule, and if we can get a quorum with the board.
yeah.
With that being said, Ms. Sutton, can you bring everybody up to speed on the audit has been made public, correct?
Yes, it has.
Yeah, go ahead.
State Board of Accounts have published our audit. Again, this audit, we had no findings, which the previous two audits, there were findings, and I corrected the findings on each audit. So this audit came with no findings. Because there were no findings on this audit, I am expecting to get all financial scores for the REACT, which is 25 points, which would put us closer to getting out of
And
trouble.
this is a step toward getting out of trouble status.
Yes.
So-
Back to communication.
All right, you're good.
As long as we keep
Yeah,
communicating.
you're good.
What was the two items? I'm curious. What was the two items that you had to correct?
I don't have the audit in front of me.
Okay.
But,
We can bring that, keep that on, can we keep that on the list?
yes. Mhm.
Thank you.
I do remember one was, one was where we had, the housing authority owing money that wasn't really owed. Because the previous administration was, because they wasn't receiving the rents,
Yes.
they were borrowing from, one entity to pay the bills. And so that was what we had to stop and correct. 728, 22, removal of the brush off power lines. A motion was made requesting emergency bids and revisit this matter. Again, we went back out. We're waiting on the bids to come back. We told them exactly what we wanted them to do. And as far as where the ponding is, we're gonna have those trees cut out of there. So if your kids are playing back there, you can look from your yard and you can see your kids and see how close they are when they're on the playgrounds.
This was also for the fence line.
Right,
Fence line.
fence line.
Trees falling
Yeah.
in.
And the ideal on that was, let's just get it all done now, so we won't have problems, because the tenants have done this, been putting up with this long enough. Let's just get it all
Putting the
done.
fence, not poison ivy.
Correct. Okay,
Okay,
keep that on the list too, please.
728, stop all evictions. A motion was made to stop all evictions until legal representation is obtained. So at this time, the evictions have been moved to September. They have a September date. And so as soon as the attorney gets on, then we will be able to move forward with these evictions. The TA report. The motion was made to table the TA report. The TA, I did reach out to him and to see when he will be back. I have not gotten a response, so I don't know when he will be back this way. Comcast, again, Comcast, I did do that, but now we have put this to a subcommittee, which is technology. So
Okay, and going back to the TA report, if we can, once our attorney come aboard, we need to have them send out a letter to the TA, or a certified letter, letting them know we need some dates so we can meet with them.
Okay.
Because if I was not mistaken, when they said that he was coming from the East Coast, that they was gonna make this stuff available to help us, and they overstepped their boundaries a little bit, but that's here nor there. We just wanna make sure that our questions are asked and we get out of trouble status. Thank you.
And just to put on the record, I think I know the answer already though, but now that we voted for our attorney and did all that, he immediately contact him, let him know he wanted to pay how long?
no, I can't immediately contact him because we still have to send that to HUD.
Yes.
So once I send it to HUD, then we should be okay. But
And that will be sent to HUD Monday or tomorrow?
tomorrow,
Okay.
I'll send it tomorrow.
All right, we at the point where we have public comments. Anyone can speak. We ask that you try to leave profanity out of it, but we are willing to listen to you. I don't care about your frustration. Get it out. We just gonna we don't need no one talking over no one. We just gonna do one at a time. And I'm gonna start right here because we cut, what's your name? I'm sorry. Dominique, we cut her off. And so we're gonna start with Dominique, and we ask that you just stand up and just give your name, your address, and then just go into your issue.
My name is Dominique Sabato. I'm at Unit 210 here in Lakeland. I've been here for, I think, almost 2 years now. And prior to me being here, I think, Ms. Hudson, I think you came in, I don't know how long you've been here, but before you was someone else. But once you and Curtis and you guys like came into it, you know, a lot of stuff haven't been getting done around here. You guys know, as far as the snow removal, like people, we come and try to help each other. Like everybody cars get, you know, stuck into your driveway. Well, you try to get out in the street, you can't even if you get out in the street, you stuck because now y'all haven't put out the streets. Y'all haven't made no way, you know, safe for the kids as well. Like and they walking back and forth to these school buses. I'm slick ice. I took videos of the stuff like slick ice. These kids going back and forth to, you know, to this bus stop. That was one thing. Then like anything needs to be done in the household. Certain stuff is wear and tear. I feel that you guys should have the means people to come and fix these things. You guys try to charge us. Another thing is anything we call you guys for, you guys like retaliate with bullying. Like it's bullying. It's a lot of bullying. A lot of people don't like to speak up because they're scared of tennis. But I'm just one I can do. If I pay my rent, that's what's gonna happen.
Dominique, can I stop you 1 second? I want to make sure this is on the record. I promise you, when our attorney gets here, we will pass a resolution that will protect you. It's like a whistleblowing ordinance. Any one of you complain about any one of us, including the executive director or anybody that's part of HUD, we guarantee you they will not retaliate against you or they will be terminated. Day one.
Yeah, you know, as far as this is like professional, like calling you guys or anything, you know, when I'm talking or I have something to say, you guys talk to us like we kids or like, you know, like y'all the ones that we have to, like y'all have to pay, y'all coming out y'all pockets to get things, you know, things paid for and things like that. It's just so much stuff was, it's just to the point like I just gave up. I'm just trying to move because I just gave up because it's, you know, it's crazy. So yeah, I'm just done with it. I'm just done with it. Like ever since her and Curtis and all of them came aboard, it just been nothing but chaos. And it always just had like this thing in the back of my head, like they just don't click right now. It's just.
Can I ask you a question, Dominique?
Yes.
So you said that you're trying to move. Were you trying to move because that was your desire and you wanted to go somewhere else? Or because of all the things that have transpired here?
Everything that has transpired.
Frustrated you?
At first, it was okay when I first moved here, you know, like even within my first 6 months here, I had like a flood in my place when I just got it. I ain't been here 6 months, like the whole entire thing started flooding. The number that they gave us a call, it was a Saturday. I can remember I had to go to work. I couldn't go to work because I had to call until I be late. It was a flood. I couldn't get a hold to none of them. What did I do? I called the city. I don't know what number it was, but it was the city, and the city got a hold to the manager, Curtis and all that, and I bet you they came in and tried to figure out what was going on, why is my house flooding, why I can't stop, I don't know where this water comes from. You know, I shouldn't have to do that. And it was like they was mad about that, they retaliated with that. You know, it's like little things, they like retaliate with stuff. And so it's just like, all this, I'm just done with it. Like, it's, you know, it shouldn't be that. You know, if I pay my rent, you know, like everybody else, you know, y'all in a lease agreement, you know, you guys supposed to do what you're supposed to do. You know, it's a lease agreement. We agree on a lot of things. So every time something get fixed, I gotta get charged for it. Something in the kitchen sink, it's a wear and tear. Some little metal piece underneath the sink, like the water's leaking underneath. I need y'all to fix that. They come fix it, they charge me for it. So many orders I put out, ain't got fixed yet. My bathroom sink, down there, it's been like that for months. I put in a work order for it. I put in work orders, they give you these work order numbers, nobody ever come fix it. It's only one maintenance man around here. It's one maintenance man. So I don't know what their maintenance crew is, it's one maintenance man, literally one maintenance man. So it's probably thousands of work orders that's not getting done. No, nothing get done, nothing. And a lot of people don't like to call because they know they're gonna get charged or it's gonna be retaliation. I will call.
Well, I promise you, the retaliation is over.
Right.
Yes, I guarantee you that. Sure as I'm sitting here.
I understand the charging part too, but you know, you make that call and then whether they come out when they come out, that's an automatic.
I think, you know, if I like put a hole through the wall through the door, you know, I would pay for it. But if something wear and tear, I should be paying for it because when I moved in, wasn't nothing brand new. So when I come in for something that's wear and tear, you know, that's not right. You know, so yeah, that's what we up with this.
Next.
Yeah, I'm not,
Excuse me, just introduce your name and...
Dennis Smith, on 606 Cedar Street, Boulevard Gardens, and I've been there 12 years. And my thing is safety, man, down there, man. Boulevard Gardens have got totally out of range. I mean, it's scary. I mean, it's not safe.
The keys.
It's not safe down there. I mean, you walk out at nighttime, you're scared, like the gazebo. So a lot of the residents go to the gazebo, but a couple of them, those guys that participate in drinking, I ain't got nothing to get a drink because I don't drink anymore, but the majority of the people every day is crowded with people drinking, doing what they want to do in the gazebo. They don't live there. And then you get a couple of them, if you say something true, man, my family stay down there. Man, I've seen you down there 3 years straight every day, and I ain't never seen you go visit your family. See what I'm saying? But it's scary though, I mean, you know. And I remember when I first came down there, Richardson was security down there. The residents couldn't even sit in his front yard and have a glass of beer. Now everybody coming out with a case of beer like this party, like you going to Ferry Valley somewhere, to the beach. And this every day, all night. Come on, man. It's scary.
Then there's one thing you told me when I be coming down there and, you know, checking on, you know, what you do, man, I really do. You said something that kind of touched my heart, made me feel really bad. I said, man, how's that bed bug issue, man, you know? And when I was staying down there, it was a real issue, and I know it didn't just went nowhere just like that. And Dennis told me, he said, man, the issue's still bad, man. We just learn to live with it.
Yeah.
And you know, that's important, you know, because you shouldn't have to be forced to have to deal with something like that. You know, and
I took care of my own bed bugs.
Right. But it's just, you said others have to basically just live with them.
My son was a professional exterminator. I'm gonna put it like this. And we used to go out and do contract job. And we go for 6 months. And then at 6 months, we go back and check every other month. And he put something to my coat. And we go back 1 month, we go back and check, make sure they ain't came back. Another month, we go back and check, make sure they ain't came back. Wait a couple more months, go back and check, make sure they ain't came back. They didn't come back. We was handed a job. What's this here, bro? Live roaches, live whatever we do to exterminate, just to keep the contract going. And when I was down there, when I had the bed bugs, I'm serious. When I had the bed bugs, whoever they had for contract, he told me to catch him. He said, catch me 3 or 4 of them. So when I called him, I smashed him, folded him up in a little paper towel. When I see him, I said, come on, man. I said, I got him, I got you something. When he looked at him, you know what he told me? He said he couldn't use them. I said, why you can't? I said, they're bed bugs. He said, they're not alive. Then, when I told him I don't want y'all exterminating my apartment anymore, then they changed the policy, said that they have to exterminate.
Question is, what exterminating company was that? How long ago was this?
This was about 6, 7 years ago.
Has it improved?
It didn't improve because they didn't change exterminating, but it's still there.
Yes.
I mean, I don't have it, but it's still down.
And I have one more question for you, if you don't mind. Have you ever walked into the building and found somebody who don't live there actually sleeping in the hallway?
Yes, it's happening now, man. It's constantly going on. You know? I mean,
The majority of them doors.
people out there at nighttime, this all night long.
So there's no
I
locks?
to get up at nighttime and take me a walk. You know, I'm an older guy. I get up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm up, walking, drinking my coffee. I don't even do that no more. Not until the daylight.
So to your knowledge,
In and out. Come, you know, strange people I ain't never seen before. Come on now. Coming out the hallway, you know.
And most of them doors don't lock down. The building. Right, and the cameras don't work no more either way you use
Camera, I've been there 12 years. I ain't never seen a camera work yet. I seen a guy one day sitting down there smoking crack cocaine right there in front of the camera. And I said, dude, man, what are you doing? I said, that's a camera there. Man, they ain't getting none, I don't get it.
There's no lights popping back on yet. No more.
And that's another thing. It's dark down there, no security lights or nothing.
I just want to make a recommendation, if I may. We'll be down there hopefully next week. Mr. Fly will make he's our chair, and I hope that you become a captain and we can address a lot of these issues and we can get you right to the right sources, which will probably be Ms. Hutton. If you don't get through with them, we will get to it. We will get to it ourselves.
As far as the doors, I have been working on getting those doors fixed. I do have the quotes and everything back on repairing those doors. And so we're at like 19,000 all the doors.
19,000.
Okay. Miss Benny has a question, I believe.
Oh, it's already been answered.
Okay. Hey, James.
How's it going?
Thank you for coming. We want to. You have anything you want to add to this?
No, I think we covered everything the last time I was here.
Okay. And I have had a conversation, and we'll talk about that after this meeting.
So since the last meeting, has there anything changed? Has there been any issues since we saw you guys?
No, everything's quiet. It's good. I mean, I don't have to rush my kids into another room. So,
Good.
it's positive.
That's good.
Miss Stewart.
No, I don't want to be on
Well, you don't want to be what?
On camera.
She
doesn't want to be on
I
camera.
would like to say, since Miss Sharon has been here, I've seen a lot of stuff get done. I can't speak on what any and everybody else have to say about Miss Sharon. I can speak my rights and what I know. When there's been an issue through the storm, when all of my power, not my power, my heat went out. When I called, I was able, it was 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. She sent somebody, but the person she sent didn't come. I was gonna call Rodney, but after I didn't call Rodney, I called him, Mr. Fly gave me another resort. They directed right back to Ms. Sharon and Mr. Blanc. They came, they made sure they brought me heaters for me and my grandbaby. That they done. They're 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. They done that. And the thing about it with that heat that they put in, the worstest thing they could have ever done.
Yeah.
You freeze this downstairs, but even like right now, when the summertime, you burn up downstairs, you burn up upstairs. There's that heat, that thing they put in, that's the worstest thing. You got holes through your wall, you got bugs coming in. That's the worstest thing they could have ever put in those units.
I think we spent $1 million contract.
It's just the worstest thing, and my thing is, paying security, we need more security. I got a bullet hole where my grandbaby had laid. If he had been there, that bullet would have hit him in his head. I would still have this bullet hole in my window. The guy came out, supposed to have, he didn't make the window. She came out that next day, Miss Sharon was there to see what was going on. And the next following day, they was coming to put the windows in. The guy came out 2-3 times, that hole's still there in the window. I think if security is being paid for security, we need security.
Yes.
We need security, we need speed bumps. It's not our people that live out here that come through the flat. There's kids. We need speed bumps and we need security. It's been multiple shootings. It's been multiple innocent people. Houses got bullets in. If security is being paid for security, we need security.
Well, I can just say this on behalf of myself and Mr. Fly and the rest of the commissioners. One thing we are going to bring here, and you weren't at the meeting, there will be Ring doorbells on front and back of all units. But, you know, come along with all this stuff, there's a lot of people, you're gonna resist some of the, we have to enforce these rules. And we need you guys to work with us and understand the rules are there for a reason. We have not had enforcement for quite a while now. Enforcement is here now. So we're gonna enforce, and sadly we're gonna have some people that's gonna probably end up evicted, but in order for us to work together, this is a team effort. All of us here, including the tenants, we're gonna need you guys. Like I said, offline, you can call me and I'll take your complaint and I'll push it on without your name being added to it. Without that first line of defense, which you guys are, you got to be the one to look out the window and say, Rodney, it was so-and-so in a red car, license plate number 444, and I'll do the rest. You can videotape. I encourage you to pull out your video camera, record it, and just send it to me. I'm gonna leave you anonymous. We will do the rest. We will protect you, but we need your help. We're gonna do everything in our power to help you. So, one last thing I want to ask you, Ms. Stewart. You called me the other night saying that they're breaking into that unit next door.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I called her, I called Miss Sharon. Well, I called you, this just recently happened. Somebody's breaking in the unit next door to me. You can hear it, because I'm thinking they're coming through my window. You can hear it, so I called you, somebody's in this unit. And the first time when I heard it, I called Miss Sharon, and same day somebody was there boarding that back door up. But you can hear them walking in that unit, and the bombing, they're in there, they're coming through the front, and then they pull him dragging the trash can and coming up through the went upstairs with the trash can. My window was broken in, man walked in and robbed me in my own unit through my front window, and the window still was, that window ain't fixed, and Miss Sharon wasn't here then. But that window still ain't been fixed, and that was an order. That was a work order.
No, Mr. Beverly, I want to tell you though, we used to have security, I don't know if we still got security. Right, that's what I'm saying. So we do have security still in place, so paying anybody, whether it's MCPD or anybody, we need to double down on that and really make sure it's security. We got security Boulevard Garden Land out here. I haven't heard no more about any security. I haven't heard no more about the police coming and sitting around, sitting in the lots or nothing like that. So I don't know if we still got it or not, but I think that's something that needs to be implemented because like you say, a lot of things that's happening when it comes to the violence is people that's coming from out that don't live in your complex, coming out here shooting and doing that and leaving them back out. And they ain't got to live in this complex because you guys get yelled and blamed for all that extra stuff, and you can't control who's coming, you know, like y'all in a gated community. So I guess we'll try to figure out whatever happens to some kind of security.
One second. Is there anybody else for public comments?
I need to finish, but.
Go ahead.
No, you talking about the club? Well, I just need to finish about things that was in a work order place before she ever got here. It's still, and I'm in a disabled unit. I'd be scared to get in the upstairs tub because I'm afraid it's gonna cave in. This before she ever got here. That water was supposed to be taken care of. That's not. Then they put the sinks in, put them new water things in, that stuff leaks everywhere. It's leaking all up under up under the sink. And what it's supposed to get, so you thinking you get a lot of water, it's just a waste. It's just money they gave away. They just damaged. They did more damage than they did good. I'm just gonna say that.
Who instructed you that your unit was a handicap accessible unit?
Miss Webster.
She did that?
I just got out of the nursing home. Yes.
Yeah. And they told you it was handicap accessible?
Yes, I had just got out of the nursing home and couldn't walk.
Okay.
And I thought it was a bedroom downstairs, but it wasn't. It was upstairs. And I just had a rebuilt pelvic. I just learned how to walk, and I had to sleep downstairs for months and months and months until I got better. But she said it was a handicap unit. I see nothing handicapped. The maintenance guy that was here before Miss Sharon and the new board member, when he was shoveling, he knocked a big old hole in the concrete. Disabled unit coming out on the walker, trying to get the cab. If it wasn't for the cab driver standing to help me come get out, I'd tumble. It's still there.
Just for the record, so you know, and everybody know, ADA, handicap accessible units is, you're supposed to have access to all of that unit.
Yeah.
So that's not handicap accessible, but we're working on that. I promise you, we're working on that. That has come up a lot in our meetings and our conversations, and we're gonna try to address your needs in a different way and try to make your situation a lot better, along with James. So thank you for your comments, and we definitely hear you. Mr. Nixon? Hold on, Mr. Fly. Mr. Fly, we still on the agenda.
Barbecue. I'm not going, we can't be by the grill by our house. We can't barbecue in front of our house in our yard. We got to barbecue by the gazebo. For what? It's nothing but piss over there. You smell like nothing but piss. You say I'm gonna take my meat and barbecue over there? I'm gonna write me up, but I'm barbecuing right in front of my house. I gotta go.
All right, thank you.
We got to let you know.
All right, we at the point now where it's commissioner comments. I personally have no comments, and I like to start with Mr. Vincent and work our way around.
Well, I think I pretty much said it all. I'd like to ask, though, I do have more questions. We're talking about maintenance people a lot. Are maintenance people under union contract?
No.
And are they all part-time?
Huh?
Are they all part-timers? Or we have some full-time maintenance?
I have only 2 full-time maintenance. One is out on medical, and then I have another 3 that I have temporary for 90 days to see how they work out.
Does the project manager live local?
No.
Where does he live?
The project manager, I think he lives in East Chicago.
So if somebody has an emergency, needs some water shut off, do they have to wait for him to come from East Chicago?
The project manager wouldn't do that, the maintenance person would.
The full-time maintenance people?
Yes.
And they're all on call, the one person's on call?
Yeah, the head maintenance is on call.
And we have open positions in maintenance?
Right now, we have open positions, but like I said, I got 3 temps.
How many full-time positions do you have open?
I have 2 more.
Those positions been offered to residents?
It's been offered to anybody that apply.
Yeah, is it posted? Do we use Indeed, Monster, how do we post for?
I post normally in the paper and I post at the office. I put it on the website when we do the posting and that, at the papers.
Okay.
When the last time we did something with the newspaper as far as posting something for maintenance?
For maintenance, it's been a minute. I haven't posted recently for maintenance.
I would like for all of us to receive a job description, the description, and because we do have, some of us have Facebook pages, but I just want to know what, we just like to see the description.
You want the description?
Yes, the job description, what it
and
takes.
posting is different.
Yes, we want the job description of what they have to do.
Okay.
And what they, we just need to know. Because I am totally in agreements with everyone here. I think Clem is in over his head, that's our maintenance person. And I recommend that he gets training as soon as possible. I don't know what his qualifications or his certifications are, and I'm sorry for hijacking your moment, but he should have been here. And he didn't show up.
Right.
And that doesn't look good. That doesn't play well with me. I seen the other women came in, the other staff people came here. They busy too, but they made time to come talk to the tenants.
Yeah.
And it does not sit well with me, not one bit. And I'm steady hearing about bullet holes in windows and stuff not being done, and we don't have the maintenance man here. That's unacceptable. If he's not at the next meeting, there's gonna be dire consequences. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
And then the project manager, was that him that, he was here but he left, right? Okay.
Okay, but that's all I have, thank you.
Thank you. Ms.
I don't have anything.
Mr. Fry.
Commission comment I got is just stay working with us, you know, even with all us on the board and most of us being new, we even still ironing out, you know, our compatibility and things we're working on. So just know the tenants and residents come first and foremost. So other than that, God bless. Have a good day.
I entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.